So they're definitely pushing the WNBA, trying to get ratings. I remember in the NFL they did this with Taylor Swift. I think to kind of boost people to watch. And I don't think a lot of people are watching the NBA finals either. But I think they're trying to boost up the WNBA and using Caitlin Clark. Now you got this kind of like fake brawl. And you may notice some people around you or you yourself, your algorithm just changes. All of a sudden, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese videos be popping up. So you may have heard about this like so-called brawl or whatever. All right, with Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, um, Marina Mabrey, her foul on Caitlin Clark upgraded to a Flagrant-2. An AP source says this is the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. And it looks like, man, this is amazing. It looks like the Fever fell short yesterday as well as they lose to the Valkyries 88-77. But back to this, you had Sophie Cunningham involved over here as well. You had JC Sheldon in this drama-packed game. And that's amazing with the score I just showed you with the next game, the one that just took place yesterday. So with that being said, and we may look at a little bit of this video as well here, but look, let's get this out of the way. They lose yesterday 88-77 to the Valkyries. All right. And wait until you see the score here. Check this out. The 88s land heavy once again because Wednesday, a person familiar with the situation said that this is being upgraded to a Flagrant-2. Marina Mabrey kind of comes up and bumps Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark kind of flops on the floor. Look at that. Wednesday. The game was actually Tuesday, but 88 days before Marina Mabrey's birthday, this is upgraded to a Flagrant-2. You see that right there? And now the following game, the Valkyries defeat the Fever, and the Valkyries score 88 points. Look at that right there. So the game in question here was on the 17th, right? And you see this Fever game, they lose to the Valkyries. That was on the 19th. And you see the Valkyries put up 88 points. But wait until you see this. Again, you see 88 days. Wednesday was 88 days before Marina Mabrey's birthday. Remember, Donald Trump equals 88? Even the Indiana Fever won that game, scoring 88 points. Elizabeth equals 88. Sophie Elizabeth Cunningham, they say, kind of stuck up for Caitlin Clark. JC Sheldon, like, poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. okay? And was kind of jawing back and forth with Caitlin Clark. Look at that. Elizabeth equals 88. Sophie Elizabeth Cunningham, as she's kind of synced up with this kind of fake brawl to draw in ratings. And you know the playoffs are going to be popping this year. She even wears 8 on her jersey. Like 88. All right, we're going to go look at this now very carefully. I keep on crushing it. We'll look at this very carefully. You see the jawing JC Sheldon here. You see the jawing here with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark will come and see, look at that poke. That's a nice poke to the face or in the eye right there. Damn. Good job. And look, that looked like a major bump there. They did a good job with that. Boom. It looks like a flop like Caitlin though. One of these days Caitlin will stick up for herself other than the jawing. And she be taunting the bench too. There's Sophie Cunningham right there, grabbing her by the hand. I'm trying to be careful while playing this. Look at this 3 right here. Bam. And they might have the magnets on. And look, she's straight up taunting the bench there. Now check this out. So Caitlin Clark's kind of getting roughed up. Now look at Sophie Cunningham, her teammate. Now this is the girl that poked to Caitlin in the eye. And they were jawing. Look, Sophie Cunningham takes things into her own hands, literally here. And look at that foul right there. And there's fines and there's ejections and everything going on. I may miss some of that stuff. Again, I'm a decoding channel. I'm kind of breaking down. You see the Trump connection already, as this is just a few days after Trump's birthday. Look at the hard foul. And this is what they're calling a brawl right here. See, and this is what they're calling a brawl. Remember, Sophie Cunningham came from the Phoenix Mercury. You even get an 8 on the referee's jersey right there. And you get the 8 with Sophie Cunningham. Remember, upgraded to a Flagrant-2 88 days after Marina Mabrey's birthday. Right? And the Fever score 88 in this game. The following game, the Valkyries defeat the Fever, scoring 88 points. And that's what they're calling a brawl right there. So maybe we'll come back and look at that footage. But remember, Tuesday night's game, Wednesday upgraded to a Flagrant-2 with that bump 88 days before Marina Mabrey's birthday. Again, Trump 88. This is just a few days after his birthday. Fever win that game, scoring 88 points. And you can see we're early on in the season here. Elizabeth 88, Sophie Elizabeth Cunningham, 8 on her jersey. And she gets into the scuffle with JC Sheldon. You see Dawn in there? Like Donald Trump. You know, she pokes the eye of Caitlin Clark. I think she also got that 3 drilled on her by Caitlin and the jawing back and forth. JC Sheldon, Don like Donald Trump. The game Tuesday was 146 days after Caitlin Clark's birthday. And that's Donald Trump's birthday, 146. The 14th day of the 6th month. JC Sheldon has Kobe Bryant's birthday, and you see the poke? She's got Kobe Bryant's birthday, and it was a 68-day span from the game to her birthday. Donald John Trump equals 68 in the language. Even Donald J. Trump, you get 68. Caitlin equals 68. Also, I forgot to put in there basketball equals 68, y'all. Basketball's got the 68. Donald Trump syncs up actually nicely with basketball as well. Let's go to the calculator here. Look at basketball. See, 68. Look at the 185. Look at the 85. You see basketball 22. Donald John Trump equals 220. Like 22. And look at Donald Trump. Put Donald John Trump, his full name. Look at 185. There's that 220. You see basketball's got 185. Donald John Trump's got 185. Donald John Trump's got 68 like basketball. 220 like 22. Basketball equals 22. Basketball even has the 85. You see that right there? So he syncs up very nicely with basketball, okay? I mentioned JC Sheldon of the Connecticut Sun. That's interesting, right? Sun. And she gets into it with Sophie Cunningham. She was a member of the Phoenix Mercury, the WNBA, right? This is the WNBA. Think about the NBA. You got the Phoenix Suns, kind of the counterpart to the Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury, Phoenix Suns. This is the Connecticut Sun involved in this so-called brawl. J.C. Sheldon, a member of the Connecticut Sun. She has the Kobe Bryant birthday. Remember, they're born in the 8th month as well. Kobe had that 8 on his jersey in his career, along with 24. Sophie Cunningham's got that 8 there, which I think I still have a slide with that. Yeah, you see right there? Sophie Cunningham's birthday is 7 days before J.C. Sheldon and Kobe Bryant. She's got the August 16 birthday, also born in the 8th month. And again, with that 8 on her jersey, Kobe had the 8 at the beginning of his career. Isn't that amazing? And you see Wednesday with the article here, upgraded to a Flagrant-2. The WNBA has upgraded the technical foul on Connecticut's Marina Mabrey for shoving Caitlin Clark to the floor. Tuesday night's game against Indiana to a Flagrant-2. A person familiar with the situation said Wednesday. Look at the numbers there. Wednesday was 186. Sophie Cunningham's birthday, 168. Right? So you have the 18th day of the 6th month with Wednesday. And you have the 16th day of the 8th month with Sophie Cunningham's birthday. And remember, the game was Tuesday, but the article, this is Wednesday. Let's actually go to the article now to see what other information they have here. And then we'll go back. There will be no further penalties for on-court actions during the game, the person said. The WNBA doesn't disclose the amount of money players fined. Probably because they don't want to shine a light on what they're actually getting paid. And Sophie Cunningham also fined for her role in the melee after she fouled JC Sheldon. I think JC Sheldon might have got kicked out as well. Mabrey's technical followed the skirmish in the third quarter. Sheldon poked Caitlin Clark in the eye while defending her. Clark pushed Sheldon away, and Mabrey forcefully pushed Clark, knocking the star guard to the ground. Clark and Tina Charles were also assessed technical fouls. And I'm not sure if JC Sheldon got booted as well. So yeah, a lot going on there. So let's go back over here now. And we may look at that footage again. It's a 60-day span from Wednesday to Sophie Cunningham's birthday. And Donald Trump equals 60 in the language. That's the reverse reduction cipher. And remember, Wednesday, this Marina Mabrey foul upgraded to a Flagrant-2 with the big bump that knocked Caitlin Clark to the floor. It's just 4 base ciphers, y'all. So this really, should help expose the language a little bit here. And this being just days after Donald Trump's birthday. That melee with Sophie Cunningham with the hard foul on JC Sheldon, with 46.1 seconds left, 4-6-1. Donald Trump's birthday, 1-4-6. You get the same numbers, just mixed up again. The 14th day of the 6th month. He's also born in 1946, with the foul just over 46 seconds left. You see that right there? And I just threw this in here because I just hit on these birthdays in this connection with the Magic landing Desmond Bane in a trade with the Grizzlies for Cole Anthony, Contavious Caldwell-Pope. And those birthdays landed in that decode as I connected that to Pope Leo with the same birthday as Marina Mabrey. And that's also Jimmy Butler's birthday as well. Right? So I just thought that was interesting how those birthdays connected in that decode I did. And Marina Mabrey's got the same birthday. Not only that, Donald Trump born on the 14th, Marina Mabrey born on the 14th. And September 14 with these birthdays, if you flip the 9 in September, you get 6, like 6/14. I just think that's interesting right there. Right? So that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought that would take forever. But yeah, we got through that. So they're kind of basing this story on a Oh, and that's not a coincidence. Yeah, they're basing the story on Marina Mabrey. That's not a coincidence. This was the following day, and the Phoenix Mercury defeated the Connecticut Sun. As we were speaking of the Mercury, because Sophie Cunningham was a member of the Mercury. And you got Connecticut Sun. You got Phoenix Mercury. And remember, we have the Phoenix Suns in the NBA. It looks like she wore 9 for the Mercury there. So the following day, the Connecticut Sun, they fall to the Mercury. Look at that. And the Connecticut's 2-10, not a good start. Check that out. And that's an 8-point victory. Sophie Cunningham with the 8 on her jersey. With all the 88s. And I guess we can look at some player stats as well. The Kobe 8. Trump 88. Elizabeth 88, Sophie Elizabeth Cunningham. The Fever win that game in the little mini brawl, scoring 88 points. And remember, they followed up that game losing to the Valkyries, and the Valkyries scored 88 points. And that was Thursday, as it's Friday as I'm speaking right now. And then the technical foul upgraded to the upgraded the technical foul. It says to a Flagrant-2, 88 days before Marina Mabrey's birthday. Let's look at the player stats real quick. I'm just going to go right to the game in question here. Indiana. No, that's not the one I want. Let's go here, see more. And that would be this game right here. And that's a 16-point victory for the Fever in that game. Marina Mabrey with 6 points. Sheldon, 2 points. What about Caitlin? Caitlin Clark had 20 points. Sophie Cunningham had 5 points. So I guess, stats not really the big thing in this game with the brawl and everything that happened. All right. Will Google tell me if I ask Google? Is Sophie Cunningham suspended? Just fined. It says fined for a hard foul, no suspension issued. I mean, man, things have gotten soft in sports. Just for a foul, basically. Right? Just for a foul. No further penalties. Okay. So that's it. There may be more within the article here that I'm missing. Again, I'm a decoding channel, so I show you that it's definitely big time connected with Donald Trump, and you even get Kobe Bryant's birthday with J.C. Sheldon in there. Don like Donald. So we could take one final look at the footage. And again, the game was on Tuesday, but this article is Wednesday with the upgraded to a Flagrant-2 Marina Mabrey technical foul upgraded to a Flagrant-2 there with that bump. Let's go ahead and look again. This stuff is like all over my feed too. Like all over my Facebook, YouTube keeps popping up. I keep on crushing it. So again, you get the jawing back and forth. You had the poke in the eye. You see Marina Mabrey stepping in there. There's the poke. Boom. There's the poke right there. As they're trying to ramp up the ratings here and expect the playoffs to be buzzing. Caitlin draining the three. She kind of taunts the bench. And then you get this hard foul here by Sophie Cunningham. I guess you could even say it's a hard foul. I mean, back in the day, that was just a foul and you keep it moving. They did a good job playing their roles in this game, though. They did a good job with the physicality. That poke in the eye looked pretty impressive. Okay, so that's going to be the breakdown. Of course, there's going to be like something I might have missed or not said. But my main point being how this is so like in some kind of connection with Donald Trump. And again, this is right after Donald Trump's birthday. That's probably why all of those numbers land with Donald Trump. Okay. And there is a lot of Indiana connections with Donald Trump in the language as well. if you go use the Gematrinator calculator, okay? So with that being said, Marina Mabrey of the Connecticut Sun, her bump you see right there on Caitlin Clark, upgraded to a Flagrant-2. AP source says, shout out to y'all. I'm glad I get to present this and put this out there into the universe. Until next time.